So, this problem of relationships, isn't this the biggest problem we have in life and living? Because Jiddu Krishnamurti says that life is relationship and action. What else life can be other than relationships? And even Ramesh Balsekar emphasized on relationships. He said that the peace of mind has to be sought in relationships. But why do we have this problem when it comes to relationships? Why our relationships are so messy, so turbulent? Why do we keep so much resentment with people, so much grudge, so much anger? Why does that happen? Now, if the person in question is a stranger, then obviously we don't care that much. But if it is a loved one, say if it is a parent or a sibling or a close friend, then things get a bit complicated. So, what happens? Why is there so much suffering when it comes to relationships? And what Jiddu Krishnamurti said was that, we as human beings, we form an image of ourselves. Not only just ourselves, we also create an image that we project onto the others. So when we are looking at a person, we are not looking at what is. What basically we are looking at is what should or should not be. In other words, the person on the other side that we are perceiving, we are not accepting that person from the point of view of totality. We are projecting certain attributes on that person. So, in other words, we have created an image, a filter of image, and we are looking at that person through that image. So, what essentially is happening is that one image is communicating with the other image. Now, when the other person does something that does not correspond to the image that we have created of them, then we get upset. So you see, this image of the self and of the other creates a separation. And that separation becomes the root of our conflict in relationships. You say, I am a certain way. These are my likes and dislikes. So anybody who does not agree to my viewpoint or who does not conform to my ideas and beliefs becomes my enemy. If I am a Hindu, then my God is supreme. If I am a Christian, then my Jesus is supreme. If I am a Buddhist, then for me Buddha is supreme. And if I am a Muslim, my Allah is supreme. See how many divisions we have created. And these are all images. And in this interaction of images, there is bound to be contradiction. There is bound to be unease. There is bound to be restlessness. And that is what Jiddu Krishnamurti emphasized on. The dissolution of this image is being able to see with total clarity, or the direct perception, the complete undistorted perception, devoid of any kind of psychological profile. So the vision is happening in full clarity. That means it is direct. And in that, there can be no separation. So you accept the other person for their views, because now there are no images. The images have been seen, they have already been dissolved. Now the communication that happens is of different quality. It is much more peaceful, and we are much more accepting of the other person's view or ideas. We are not in opposition to anything. So we become one with that person. In other words, when my relationship with you becomes direct, and when the images are dropped, I see you as a separate entity, but I understand completely that the essence behind you and me is the one and the same consciousness. And that is what all great masters have emphasized. When it is understood in principle that behind every appearance is the same consciousness, then there cannot be any conflict. Yes, momentary agreements, disagreements, or momentary fights or momentary conflicts can arise. That is natural. That is the nature of human beings. That's fine. That is not the problem. The problem is when we hold on to the images very strongly, when we identify with our images, and based on that, we create long-term resentment, malice, hatred towards one another. That is when the relationships create trouble for us. When we keep on, when we keep holding on to a story of the other, the person, that person is like this, they are like that, they don't speak properly, they don't have manners, they don't have this, they don't have that. We create so many layers, and we keep on reinforcing all those stories of the past like an affirmation, like a negative affirmation. They are like this, they are like this, they are like that. Why do they do this? Why do they irritate me? Why do they irritate me? See, the me becomes most important, because this me is also an image. The me is the image, the other is the image, and one image is speaking to another image. There's bound to be conflict. And to dissolve the image, see the image for what it is. Then you are not in conflict, irrespective of others' beliefs or ideas. Yes, you may want to keep distance from certain people for the sake of your psychological peace, for the sake of your own well-being. That is fine. But you're not creating hate for anyone. Hate is a very strong emotion. This life is too short to hate people. Even those that may have done a lot of wrong to you, there is no point, there is no benefit to hating anybody. We just hold on to them when we bind ourselves to others with those images of hate, malice, jealousy, anger, and resentment. So freedom comes by dropping the images, by allowing them to dissolve, and by recognizing the essence behind different appearances. And that creates harmony in relationships. And through relationships, one observes the true peace of mind in daily living.